Now, the electronics, this is one of the more important parts because without the electronics, obviously it's not going to light up. This is a simple on and off switch that I picked up at Radio Shack. You could talk to the guys at Radio Shack and get some help. The guys at Radio Shack were very, very helpful for me and helpful to me. And then I bought 4 AA or AAA batteries, pardon me, and a 4 AAA battery container so I could hook my wires to that. Had to get a resistor to put in there. The kinds of resistors that you'll need you can find on Custom Saber Shop, and I was able to pick that up at Radio Shack as well, and use a soldering gun to attach that to the switch and then run that to the light. The light is an LED. LED simply means light emitting diode. There are all kinds of ways that you can make the light work. You can put the lights in the blade. I chose to make just a fancy flashlight, put it in the handle, so it's an LED, and it's a super bright LED. It's 3 watts. I got it from a website called LuxionStar.com. LuxionStar.com. And the Luxion LEDs are phenomenal. I used a 3 watt. If you want a really bright, even better lightsaber, you can use a 5 watt. Or you can get a Luxion Star Rebel LED. Those are a lot more expensive, and it's going to require a lot more battery power. So to begin with, for this kind of Padawan blade for my son, I thought the 3 watt would work because it'll work off of 4 AA battery or AA or AAA batteries. And so I would strongly suggest getting the Luxion Star 3 for your lightsabers. Those are the easiest to work with, and Luxion Star 3 LEDs, they're not very expensive. You can get them in lots of different colors. And then something that's very important that you remember is you're going to have a heat sink. The heat sink in mine rests about right here. And the heat sink is just a little piece of aluminum that helps pull the heat away from the LED. If you don't have that, the LED could melt. And so you don't want to spend the money on the LED and spend all the time soldering it and working really hard to put the thing together only to have it break down on you or fry the LED or whatever. And so it's important that you have the heat sink. You can purchase all of those things also at Custom Saber Shop if you don't want to mess with Radio Shack. So there it is. What I would do differently this time if I were going to build this one over again is I would not put the cool little red switch here. I would just put a fake little button there to look like that turns it on and off. And then down here, I would drill a hole and I'd put a recessed switch that you can reach down with your thumbnail and turn on and off, because as my son is playing with this and waving it around, his hand has a tendency to hit the switch and turn it on and off. And so this turns on and off a little too easily. And so I would suggest using a recessed switch. So that's enough about the electronics. Now, one more part about the electronics that I did forget. Inside there you can see a little shiny metal ring looking thing. It's actually not metal, it's just plastic coated in something shiny. You can get these little emitter lenses from the Luxion Star website. I didn't want to spend the money on it. So instead, the lens, basically all it does is reflect the light around the base there and help it project more light out. I just used a cheap little $1 flashlight and my Dremel tool and took that little plastic lens where the light bulb is, the little reflector part, and cut it to fit with my Dremel tool so it fit right in there, and that was like super easy, super cheap. And it seems to work very well. As you can see, you're losing your eyesight right now as I shine this at you. And so that's the electronics. Now the blade, important part. There's a lot of terminology here that you have to be aware of. The 2 words in particular that I think are very important that you understand: polycarbonate and polypropylene. Polycarbonate is the plastic tube itself. It's the material the tube is made out of. You don't want to use acrylic because it breaks too easily. Polycarbonate is really, really durable. I mean, you can beat the crud out of this and it won't break. Polypropylene is the plastic gift wrapping material that you can pick up at hobby shops like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and you buy it on like a gift wrapping roll, if you will, but it's clear and you can wrap gift baskets and things like that. It's kind of shimmery looking. I rolled about 4 layers of that and put it on the inside of this because it helps pull the light all the way through the blade. Without it, the light's not going to be as even in your blade. And so the polypropylene on the inside will really help pull that color, that light all the way through. I heard a lot of videos and read some things online about polypropylene, but nobody really explained what it was. So I had to do some research. Polypropylene you can buy at the gift shop. You can buy like 10 feet of it for 10 bucks, and it'll last you forever. You could build a ton of lightsaber blades with it. The outside is polycarbonate. I picked up this white one at ultrasabers.com. I'll explain why in a second. And I also picked up the tip from ultrasabers.com. This is a mirrored tip. It has a mirror on the bottom on the inside so that the light goes up into the tube, hits the mirror, and reflects back, and it gives you a brighter glow in the blade. And so the white blade instead of clear, I went with that because it was already clouded and foggy looking. I didn't have to fog it up. Some people will buy a clear tube and sand it with sandpaper to make it darker. There's some other plastics and films that you can buy to put in there to make the blade opaque. But I liked the white because it was already that way. Plus the white gives it kind of a different look. It's just up to you. You can look at them both. Ultra Sabers has pictures and screenshots of what both kinds of blades look like. I liked what the white did. It's just personal preference. And so I put here some black tape because that just made it fit a little more snugly. It already fit great in the lightsaber housing and hilt housing that I had built, but that made it work even better. And then this screw here tightens it and holds it in place so that the thing doesn't come flying out while you're swinging it around and playing with it. That is the basics right there of lightsaber construction. Just so you can see what it looks like with the lights off in the room, I'm going to turn the lights off and then turn this back on for you. And it'll help you get a better idea. This is a room, I've got the window open over there, the blinds open, so it's just a moderately lit room, and you can see nice, bright, evenly lit blade. This blade I cut down. It was originally 36 inches, but that was a little bit long for a 9-year-old, so I cut it down to 27 inches, and that actually helped make it a little bit brighter. If you're going to go with a 36-inch blade, because you want a really cool, long lightsaber, I'd suggest figuring out how to build it with a 5-watt LED instead, because it's a lot brighter. It's going to take a lot more battery power, so that's going to eat up your money a little bit faster. And it's going to require more powerful batteries. But there you go. That's my son's green Padawan blade, his first lightsaber. I built it for him, and the whole thing cost me around 40 bucks. So that's not too bad, especially considering the fact that a good friend of mine helped fund the project because he was excited, and so he helped pay for part of it with the condition that I help him build his own. So I'll be building a second one with him very soon, hopefully ready to show that off before long. But this would make a great gift for anybody who's a Star Wars fan, a great fun project if you like doing something creative like myself. And so there it is. Simple homemade lightsaber. You can go out and have all kinds of fun with that. Thanks, everybody.